What's up, my top 6 community? Welcome back to the channel. And Arsenal and Manchester City drew 1-1 at the Emirates Stadium today, and every Arsenal fan that watched that game today walked away feeling utterly disappointed and disgusted by the performance of the manager today. Literally the worst Manchester City team that we have faced in the Pep era, and we still didn't do enough to beat them today. Utterly disappointed. Mikel Arteta set up the team today to not lose that game instead of setting up the team to go on and win that game. From the lineups were published today, and I got that notification on my phone, and I looked at it and saw Mourinho in midfield, Trossard on the left and Eze on the bench. I shook my head and said, this game is not going to go as expected today. Somebody need to sit with Arteta and talk to him and let him know that Mourinho does not fit in this midfield. Mourinho is not a good pick in the Arsenal midfield. It was better Arteta left him on the bench and subbed him on for Gyökeres late in the game, up in the forward line where he can impact the game. But in the midfield, Mourinho is non-existent majority of the time. Tell me, what is the reason to sign Eberechi Eze for £60 million and have him sitting on the bench in one of our biggest home games of the season? Tell me, I just can't understand Arteta's selection. He did not start Eze on the left because in midweek in the Champions League, he was screaming at Eze to hug the touchline, but Eze is just not that type of player. Eze is a type of player that likes to have a free role in the midfield and he can go about his business and do his job. Eze is not that type of player that will just hug the touchline like Martinelli for 90 minutes of the game. He's not that type of player. And Arteta is very hesitant to start Eze in that number 10 role because he's scared that Eze might just shine and do well enough and he might have to drop Martin Odegaard when Odegaard come back and is fit. He's trying to protect his captain. That's the reason why he's hesitant to put Eze in that number 10 role. Now I can understand Trossard's selection in the starting lineup because he has done well in the past 2 games. But as you know, Leandro Trossard is more of an impact player off the bench. This scenario happens all the time. Trossard comes on in a few games, does well, gets an assist and a goal, and then you start him and then he flops. And then the cycle repeats itself all over again. You drop him to the bench and then he comes on again. So I think Trossard did enough to get his name on the team sheet, but we know that when he starts, it doesn't really put out as much as when he comes on. So I kind of understand that, but the Mourinho thing, I just don't get it. I can't wrap my head around it. But Saliba in the lineup as well, coming from an injury. We know that Mascara has been doing well, but Haaland is a lot to handle, and Saliba and Gabriel together has enough experience with him, so I understand Mikel Arteta's selection with Saliba in the team today. But on that goal that Haaland scored from in the 9th minute of the game today. With that goal, I really think Saliba should have done a lot better in that play right there, because Reinders breakaway with the ball. He's driving at the defense is pulling back. Haaland is running from midfield, and you can see when Saliba checked his shoulder and he could see that Haaland is making a run. Instead of staying there and still marshalling Reinders with the ball, he should have run with Haaland. He should have made that run with Haaland and mark him. He could have stopped Haaland from scoring today. I really think that if Saliba had pulled off and made that run with Haaland to stop him, because it was obvious that it was Haaland that was going to get that ball, he could have stopped Haaland from scoring. So that was a poor decision from Saliba today. I don't know what he was thinking, but he should have run with Haaland and mark him and stop him from scoring that goal today. But it was a beautiful assist from Reinders onto the feet of Haaland, who slots it past Raya into the back of the net, and it was 1-0 to City after 9 minutes. And pretty much after that, it was domination from Arsenal. City fall back into a low block and Arsenal have majority of the possession, trying to find back an equalizer. Madueke did well. He had a chance in which he put it on his right foot, had a beautiful shot at near post, and Donnarumma with a fine save. And this is how I know that Mikel Arteta eventually found out that he had selected the wrong team to start this game. At the beginning of the second half, he pulled Moreno off and put on Eze, the man that he should have actually started in that role. And I felt a little bit sorry for Madueke because he was one of Arsenal's best players in that first half. He was also substituted at halftime, and Mikel Arteta brought on Bukayo Saka. But it was no drop off when Saka came on the field. He started making some good runs down that right flank and taking on his defender and putting some good balls into the box. Eze's impact was immediate. You could see the difference in the overall team play when Eze was on the field. Eze has a certain qualities, some tricks and some little shimmies, stop and goes, and some ways that he beats defender that is so smooth. And his passes was something that we lacked in the first half. A chance eventually fell to him in the box, in which was a cross that was headed out by a City defender and fell right to him. He controlled it on the chest and smacked it at the goal, which Donnarumma made an impressive save. And Arsenal looked far more impressive when Eze and Saka got on the field, creating more chances and retaining more possession of the ball. Zubimendi had a chance as well, a chance in which I thought he should have done a little bit better with that. The ball fell to him, he controlled it, and he just went a little bit under the ball, dragging it over the bar. But I really think Zubimendi should have even got that on target, even forcing Donnarumma for a save with that chance. Mikel Arteta eventually brought on Martinelli in the 88th minute and then Nwaneri in the 84th minute. Deep in the game, when we were looking for that comeback, looking for that equalizing goal, that is when Arteta started to put on our attacking and our creative players onto the pitch. But from the first half and also into the second half, we were really doing a bit of the same things. Get the ball from defense, pass it into the midfield, then pass it out wide on the flanks, and then scoring the balls. That wasn't effective. City's defenders are very big, and Donnarumma knows how to deal with crosses, even from the corners. Donnarumma did well in the corners, and City defended our set piece very well. So the crosses weren't effective in this game. It wasn't until Eberechi Eze tried something different with a ball over the top from in midfield, in behind the Man City defense to Martinelli. And we know that from Martinelli gets the ball in behind the defense, he has the pace, and he found the perfect finish with a lob over Donnarumma to live up the score. Arsenal 1, Man City 1. It was a beautiful finish from Martinelli. The weight of the pass from Eberechi Eze was perfect, and Martinelli timed his run perfectly as well to latch on to that ball and draw Arsenal level in this game. But Mikel Arteta, you're the one that cost us this game today. You need to stop playing so negative, stop being so coward, and stop playing not to lose and go out and play to win. You need to play to win games. If you had started Eberechi Eze in that midfield today, I'm sure we would have. If you had started Eberechi Eze in that midfield today, I'm sure we would have left with 3 points. You're too coward, Mikel Arteta. You need to put teams to the sword. Go at them. All out attack. You need to use your attackers and creative players in the game. You can't be going with so much negativity in the midfield. All defensive midfield setup. It's not working. Declan Rice, Zubimendi and Moreno is not a good combination. You need to stop it, Mikel Arteta. Put some creativity in the midfield. You have Nwaneri who signed a 5-year contract with the club. A brand new 5-year contract, and you're not playing him. He came on in the first game and did well. And what he did the next game, bench him, not even a minute. Come on, Mikel, use your creative player. You have the squad that can do the job this season. And we will not accept nothing but winning the Premier League or the Champions League. We need major trophies this season. You got the lineup wrong today, and you can't win the Premier League by playing so negative. Stop doing the same foolishness and expect to get different results. Anyway, like up this video, my community, get in the comments and let me know your thoughts, and please subscribe to the channel. I'll see you back on another one.